I wouldn't be here today without my mentors. I wouldn't have built multi-million dollar global brands without my mentors. I wouldn't be the leader, advisor, strategist, and educator I am today without my mentors. And I wouldn't have been able to mentor tens of thousands of creative salon owners, hairstylists, beauty brand executives, influencers, and educators without my mentors. The truth is, mentorship is the reason I'm here. It's the thread that runs through my entire life and my career. And that's why today's episode of Building and Breaking is going to be a little different. Normally on the pod, we talk about other brands, what they've built, how they're built, where trust is broken, and the lessons we can learn. But today, I want to talk about my own brand story in real time, which is honestly uh, vulnerable, of course, and I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, because literally this is happening in real time. This is about building Passion Squared and breaking out of the space that I created for myself and for so many others, and stepping into what I've resisted the most, my personal brand. Because this isn't just a rebrand. This is me really stepping into Nina L. Kovner and the gift I've been given as a mentor. Now, no one's ever asked me this. However, I do feel like compelled to explain why I use my middle initial. Nina L. Kovner, almost always you will see me use Nina L. Kovner. And the L is very, very special to me because it came from my dad. My middle name is Lynn with one N, Lyn. And I guess when my parents were naming me, my dad was adamant about the middle name and the fact that there was one N. So, yeah, anyways, that's why it's Nina L. Kovner. So, building Passion Squared, back in 2012, I built Passion Squared with a really clear mission to empower the people that I love, to serve the professional beauty industry, to bring the insights and the information and the education around the social and digital revolution. Because back in 2012, people were still telling me Facebook's a fad. I believe differently, and I'm happy to say I was fucking right. Anyways, I wanted to create a brand that wasn't about me, was about something much bigger than me. And Passion Squared was built on promises that have guided everything I do: trust, clarity, context, confidence, courage, and care. It truly became a safe place, a safe space, particularly inside A school, for people to feel seen and heard, of course, and make more aligned decisions, meaning make more aligned decisions with their brand and reduce overwhelm and reduce confusion and reduce all of those things. Um, but, you know, even though Passion Squared was always a business brand and never a personal brand, um, I was, I mean, of course, my personal values and beliefs were very much inserted into the Passion Squared brand story: my voice, my values, my lessons. And so, that makes it a little bit simpler to evolve the Passion Squared brand into the business brand, the Passion Squared business brand, into the Nina L. Kovner personal brand. And here's the deal: I resisted creating a personal brand. I very much wanted to stay behind the scenes after I left my career of 25 years as a professional beauty brand executive. That was as much about, I had my day in the sun. I've had all the titles, the accolades, the awards, the stages, the cars, the homes. I had all of that. It was so not about me. In fact, when I left my career, I let my passport expire. I started an online business because I swore I'd never travel again. Now, of course, never say never. Um, but like many of us do at times, I would say that that was an overcorrection that I needed in the moment. I wanted to hide. I did. And it wasn't a confidence thing. It was more of a trauma thing, which we're not getting into in this podcast. But if you have questions about that, I am an open book and I'm happy to answer them. So for a long time, it worked. Passion Squared has been very successful. And by successful, I mean, I've been able to impact and empower thousands and thousands of people through the Passion Squared brand, uh, through a school, through Facebook groups, through webinars, through, of course, content, through workshops, through courses, through all of that. But several years ago, I started to see a shift, of course, in the way people consume content. And also I've talked about this a lot since 2015, actually, 2015, 2016, in this misinformation, disinformation age that we're in. And it's only gotten worse. It's gotten way worse. But I started talking about it 10 years ago. But in 2025, look, it's Reels, it's TikToks, it's endless content consumption. And people are consuming more than ever, but taking action less. Hours and hours of doom scrolling, comparison spirals, dollars invested, subscriptions left unopened. And I was like, you know what? There's something happening, and I need to change the way I do things. And that includes getting get, getting uncomfortable and beginning the transition from the Passion Square business brand to the Nina L. Kovner personal brand. And the thing is that I'm of the belief, and I always have been, I don't want you to buy stuff if you're not going to use it. I don't want you to invest in stuff if you're not going to use it. And if you follow Passion Squared, you probably can see that. I don't sell these big things. I don't talk about, we sold a million this, a million that. It's just not, that's not important to me. What's important to me is the impact. What's important to me is how I have the ability to empower the people that I love. I mean, that's how I measure success. And yes, of course, money's important, but it's not number one for me. And it's certainly not the reason, right? Because the revenue is the result, not the reason. And I just began realizing that the strategy and the playbook that I have used with Passion Squared for the last almost 14 years, it just no longer fit. It didn't feel aligned. It felt flat to me. And if it feels flat to me, it's going to feel flat to those I serve. So, in order to keep my brand promises, I needed to step into what I've been resisting, and that is personal brand. And the thing is that I know sometimes that we talk about brand story, whether it's a business brand or a personal brand, service brand or product brand. The brand story is always about who we serve. It's not about us. That whether it's a personal brand or business brand, it's about who we serve. It's not about us. However, with that said, personal brands are a person, right? And that is a whole nother level of exposure, of vulnerability, of pressure, of all of those things. So yes, um, I'm Nina, I'm your mentor, but it's still not about me, right? It's about you. It's about your clarity. It's about your confidence. It's about your courage. It's about your consistency. It's about you realizing your visions and dreams and desired outcomes. And so it's so much different, yet it's so much the same, right? But in order to serve you in the most relevant, aligned way, I can't keep hiding. And that's hard because in the beginning, when I started Passion Squared, I was hiding for a different reason. For the last 5.5 years, I've been hiding because I've had such personal turmoil and trauma. And I've talked about that several times in different spaces. But I am still healing. Like I am still not 100% myself. And so, this is hard. This is really hard. And thank goodness I have healthy boundaries, but I'm still human, right? And the internet is very difficult to navigate in 2025. But my greatest gift is mentoring, and I know that out in the open in an accessible, actionable way. And that's why I created Mentored with Nina L. Kovner. It's a space for creatives, hairstylists, educators, coaches, influencers, beauty brand people, distributor salon consultants who are looking to add more value to the people they serve. We are focusing on the fundamentals as I always have: brand fundamentals, business fundamentals, healthy boundary fundamentals. And I'm doing this in a way that I believe is the most accessible, affordable, and actionable, which is meeting my community where they're at on Instagram through Instagram subscriptions. Because if you took just, let's say, an hour, 2 hours of doom scrolling and comparison spirals and invested that in yourself and your business inside Mentored right there on Instagram, I know you will see a difference in your business. I know you will feel more clear. I know you'll feel more confident. I know you'll feel more courageous. And I know you'll feel more joy. I know that. In fact, yesterday, inside Mentored, I posted our guide that we've shared for years on how to invite clients to book their holiday appointments in an aligned with your brand way, in an actionable way, in a way that is simple and seamless for the client. And literally, one of our subscribers saw that, completely created their whole like content plan, and then began posting and messaged me because we have DM office hours 4 days a week inside Mentored. And I was blown away. I'm like, yes. And then I was able to coach them in real time on the caption, and they immediately were able to change it. This is what I'm talking about: accessible, affordable, and actionable. Over the last 14 years, I have seen so many of you consume, and not take action. And that includes my own clients. That includes one on one clients. That includes A school clients. That includes people that have joined me for classes or workshops or courses. I don't want you to consume more. I want you to actually consume less. But what I do want is I want to see more action, because so many of the things that I see folks struggle with are just fundamentals, are just the fundamentals. And awesome brands are built by executing the fundamentals consistently. Executing the fundamentals consistently in alignment with your brand in a way that feels authentic and feels good. So you're going to watch me do this in real time. If you're a brand strategist geek like me, you likely have already seen some changes in how I'm showing up on the internet. Maybe not, but you may see some shifts. You may have noticed some shifts. But here's the larger lesson: brands evolve because people evolve. And it doesn't mean abandoning your brand story. It could mean evolving your brand story, right? And rebranding isn't about changing a name or a logo, right? It's about creating a brand story that's relevant and aligned. It's about honoring the promises that are of high value, but not clinging to the things that no longer serve your audience. We talked about this a lot in the Gap episode, actually, a few weeks ago. So, after almost 4 decades in this industry, I believe in my whole heart that if we as an industry embrace the fundamentals, brand fundamentals, marketing, business fundamentals, healthy boundary fundamentals, we could collectively eliminate so much of the systemic dysfunction that has existed in our industry as long as I've been here. And that's why I'm stepping into this new era. That's why I am aligning my name, my voice, and my gift as a mentor. So this isn't as much an ending as it is an evolution. And finally, me stepping into what I've resisted the most, my personal brand. It's about us, you and me together, building more clarity, building more trust, building more consistency, building more courage, and feeling more fucking joy. And I believe that's possible. There is so much more to do together. And I am so excited to be on this journey with you. With all that said, this building and breaking, that's the podcast. And when I first started developing building and breaking, I talked about how much I love, studying brands and breaking down brands. And that's literally what we do on this podcast. And I was considering how I wanted to, the schedule for the podcast, if I wanted to do every week, which I've been doing, or if I wanted to do like seasons. So, like a season would be like 6 weeks, and then we'd be off for four, and then six, and then four. And I am going to test doing seasons for this podcast. I don't know if it's going to work for you. Obviously, this is always about you. Um, but I feel like because the content is so important and each episode is so packed with such high value, I feel like seasons may be an interesting approach. So, with that said, I'm going to be off for the rest of September, and I'm going to build a season, maybe like, I don't know, like a 6 episode season. And I will start that back in October. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of that? Are you like, do you like I know you could say, yeah, I like it weekly. I get that. But are you actually doing anything and taking any action on what you learned in these episodes? That, again, this is all about action. I want to see the shift. I want to see a shift. I want to see impact. I want to see action. So, but again, please, I'd love to hear from you. How does season sound? Like a 6 episode season, and then like 3 weeks off, or four, or whatever, like 8 episodes, and then, you know, 8 weeks off. I don't know. Feedback. I need your feedback. I invite you, I am inviting you to take a deep breath, inviting you to remember to be where your feet are. And I would be so honored to support you inside Mentored with Nina L. Kovner. All you need to do is go to the at Passion Squared Instagram page and tap on subscribe. I'm really excited and nervous and ready. Thank you so much for listening. I am so incredibly grateful you're here. I love you. Please take care of yourself and each other, and have a peaceful day. Bye.